A short safety announcement. It's not meant to alarm you at all. It's just routine. Life jackets on the top deck. They're in the silver lockers up at the front, and they're also beneath the fixed seating in the lower saloon. Life buoys and life rafts are found behind the wheelhouse, and the emergency exits downstairs at the windows and doors they'll slide to open. For those of you on the top deck who might be wondering where their emergency exits are, well then just use your own imagination. Now a lady at the gate, she was just asking me if we could maybe do a little commentary on our way down the river. Now I can't do that for you, I'm just standing here at the back. I will try my best to point out a few places in the form of a live commentary. As we do turn the boat here, just ahead of us we have the London Eye. This is London's biggest tourist attraction. Now the Eye was opened up in the year 2000. It's 450 feet tall. Now surrounding the wheel there are 32 pods, and that is a pod for every borough of London.
Oh, I don't know.
On our left hand side on the river's wall, the Golden Eagle, a RAF war memorial to all of the airmen and women who lost their lives during the Second World War. The beak of the eagle, it faces towards the shores of northern France, where many of those young airmen and women did very sadly lose their lives. Also on our left we've got the grey ship, the Tattersall Castle. She was once a ferry on the River Humber. They brought her upriver to be a floating art gallery, but she went bust after only 2 years. As you can all see today, she is a floating pub. She made more money in the first month of her being a pub than the previous 2 years of her being an art gallery. Now it does just go to show you all the type of artists that we have here in London.
He's piss artist.
The first bridge is Charring Cross Railway Bridge. We've got Charing Cross Station to our left in the West End of London. On either side of the bridge we've got the two walkways. Now it's a very old tradition we have on this boat. It is said if you wave to the lady on this bridge and she waves back to you, it's said to be 5 years of good luck. So like I say, do try and get her attention. There's one on the other side of the bridge as well, folks. So like I say, do try and give them a wave. We do pay this man to stand up there all day just waving to people. He does a fantastic job. We've got a few short stops on our way down, like I said earlier on. Our first stop is here on our left, the Embankment Pier. We've got to pick up a few more people. Once we've done that, we'll cross over the river to the other side, that Festival Pier, and we'll do the same again over there. Now folks, how's it going so far? Can everybody understand me okay? Yes?
Yeah.
Well, I say thank you all for listening so far. We'll carry on with the commentary once we leave Festival Pier. The boat here though, on our left on the river's wall, we have this large stone obelisk, and that is Cleopatra's needle. It was given to us by a very grateful Egyptian government over the defeat of Napoleon at the Battle of the River Nile. Now those stone needles, they were made in pairs, and the other one is found in Central Park, New York. Just behind it, the building with the green roof and the flagpole, that is the back entrance to the world famous Savoy Hotel. Now it does look like we've got people to pick up here at Festival Pier. So we'll make a quick stop, and then after this we'll be direct down to St Catherine's for the Tower. Okay folks, we're now away from Festival Pier. Our next stop will be St Catherine's Pier for the Tower. We'll be down there in about 15 minutes time. The next bridge we're going to pass through, this is Waterloo Bridge, but it's commonly known to us in London as the Ladies' Bridge.
Ah, okay.
It gets its name as it was built during the Second World War, and that was by female labour. All the men, they were away fighting for their country. The ladies of London, they were left at home to construct the bridge. The ladies, they faced it with a very expensive self-cleansing Portland stone. So every time it rains here in London, which is about 3 times a day, the face of this bridge, it receives a thorough wash. The Ladies' Bridge was the only bridge to span the Thames that was completed on time and under budget. So what a fantastic job the ladies done. So well done the girls, well done. Of course there was a man in charge of it all though. At least he thought he was anyway. We've just passed on our left the building with the green dome on top. That was Somerset House, built for the Dukes and the Earls of Somerset. It was once in the building where they kept all birth, death and marriage certificates. Just ahead on our left, the white ship with the yellow funnel, the HQS Wellington. She was once a sloop for the New Zealand Navy. Today, a floating livery hall, and that is for the Honourable Company of Master Mariners. If you look just behind it, amongst the trees, the top of a stone archway, that is Temple Arch, a boundary marker between 2 cities. The city of Westminster we do now leave behind us, and the square mile city of London, which we are now just in. On our right, the white building, the ITV Studios. It's in that building where they film the breakfast programme this morning. It is this part of the Thames that they use as a backdrop throughout the day. So do give them a big wave and a smile, like you're really enjoying yourselves. There's a very good chance you're all on daytime TV. Also on our right, we've got the Red Bricks building with the Oxo Tower. Oxo being famous for the gravy stock queue. During the 30s, when this building was being built, advertisement along the banks of the river, it was actually illegal, and that's because the Thames is deemed a royal highway. As you can see, the Oxo company, they very cleverly got around that law. They incorporated their logo into the window frames. If you're coming up the river later on this evening, a red light, it will shine in that tower. The word Oxo, it can be seen from all over London. To our left, the building with the green sloping roof, the old City of London School for Boys. It was over there where Sir Winston Churchill attended before furthering on his education to Harrow. We're just approaching a group of bridges here. When we pass through the first one, look either side of the boat. You're going to see what remains of the old St Paul's Railway Bridge. The modern trains, they did become too heavy. They took the top half of it down, but they left the support columns in place. And that was in fear of it disturbing the foundations of the other 2 bridges. You do get lovely views on our left of the large dome and golden cross of St Paul's Cathedral, designed by Sir Christopher Wren and said to have been his masterpiece. Now it took Wren 35 years to complete, and that was in 1710. The red brick building to our left, as you can see, this is the new City of London School for Boys. Through this bridge on our right, we have the white thatch roof building, a replica of William Shakespeare's Globe Theatre. On summer nights, you can go over there. You can see all of Shakespeare's greatest plays, from Romeo and Juliet to another one of his good ones. But they are all performed as they would have been done during Shakespeare's times. That's with no stage lighting, no microphones. It is the only thatch roof building in London since the Great Fire. Ahead on our right, dominating London's skyline, the tallest building in Western Europe, the Shard of Glass. That building is 1,016 feet tall. Through Suffolk Bridge, we've got a lovely riverside pub on our right. It's got the red window frames, the Anchor Tavern. This pub, it dates back to 1615, so it's over 400 years old. Shakespeare, he used to hire the attic of the pub as a dressing room for his actors before performing at the old Globe Theatre. If you look over your right shoulder, the black building, it's got a scaffolding round at the moment. That's the Financial Times building today. That's where the original theatre used to stand. Just coming into view from behind the buildings on our left is the building. It gets larger as it goes up. Look right to the very top. There's people standing up there. A viewing platform is called the Sky Garden. Completely free to enter. Now if you want to go up there, all you've got to do is book online a few days in advance. You can sometimes just turn up on the day. They've got a bar and restaurant up there also, so it's well worth the visit. I mean, you could go on the other side of the river up to the Shard viewing platform. Of course, it's a lot higher up, but I think it's £40 an adult to go up there. Engraved into the stonework either side of us, we're now passing through the famous London Bridge. There's been 8 London bridges to span the Thames at this point. The one before this one, it was sinking into the mud. They took it down brick by brick and they sold it to an American businessman for $2 million. Today that bridge stands in the Arizona desert, spanning the man-made lake, Lake Harrison. Look slightly ahead on our left, the white building behind the trees. It's got the clock face and the black chimneys on top. That is Walter Guard's house, the headquarters of our country's customs and excise. Any illegal contraband that's taken from our country's ports, like alcohol, cigarettes and drugs, they are all taken to the basement of this building. They're stored in the basement for 1 month. They are then burnt in the incinerators and they are said to be destroyed. Now I've been working on this river for 5 years this year and I have never seen a puff of smoke coming out of those chimneys. It's strongly rumoured that their Christmas parties, they are phenomenal. We have the Belfast on our right. She was built in the Harland and Wolff shipyard, Belfast, Northern Ireland. The same shipyard that built the Titanic. She's seen action during the Second World War and last fired her guns in anger during the North Korean campaign. Today, the Belfast is a museum. It's open 7 days a week. You can explore all 7 decks from the crow's nest right down to the engine room. On our left hand side we have the world famous Tower of London. Been many things in its time, but most famously known for its imprisonment, torture and execution. The oldest part of the tower is the White Tower. It's the one that's right in the middle, and that dates back to 1070. So very shortly you're going to get a great photo opportunity ahead of us at Tower Bridge. If you time it right, you'll get the red bus crossing as well. At Tower Bridge, it was opened in 1894. The most easterly boundary of the square mile city. When we pass through it, we leave the city of London behind us. We now enter into the East End of London. Look above us, you can walk across the 2 top catwalks. It's a museum up there. I think it's £10 an adult to walk across. If you look above us, you'll see they've recently installed a new glass floor. When we pass through this bridge, look around us and you'll see the buildings have all somewhat changed. These would have all been warehouses that were filled to the brim with cargo from all around the world. But today they've all been converted into luxury apartments.